You ever wonder if a community can, actually design its own destiny? Well, we're going to look at the story of Three Rivers, Michigan. It's a small town that decided to stop just waiting for the future to happen and instead start building it themselves, together. And honestly, their journey is a fascinating blueprint for pretty much any community out there. So that's the big question, right? How do you actually do it? Because it's about so much more than just putting up a few new buildings. It's about people, nature, history. It's about feeling healthy and connected. The story of Three Rivers gives us a pretty powerful answer, and it all kicked off with one big idea. The folks in Three Rivers and in the townships right next door knew they wanted a healthier, more exciting community. But how in the world do you get everyone, city officials, local residents, business owners, all on the same page? Well, they turned to this really cool collaborative tool called a design charrette. Okay, so what is a design charrette? Just think of it like a super focused, high-energy workshop. For 3 straight days, you get architects, city planners, shop owners, and regular residents all crammed into one room. They're talking, they're drawing, they're debating, they're dreaming, all with this one goal of creating a vision everyone can share. It's kind of like democracy in action, but with a ton of sketchpads.
Now, this wasn't just some chaotic, free-for-all brainstorming session. To give their work some real structure, some solid ground to stand on, the group used a framework from the American Institute of Architects, the AIA. And these weren't just loose suggestions, they became the guiding principles for every single idea that came out of that room. And what's really cool is the thinking behind all these principles. It's all about putting people, actual human beings, right at the center of the design. Things like design on a human scale or build vibrant public spaces. That's about remembering a town isn't just a bunch of buildings. It's a stage where life happens. And it all really comes down to that one core belief at the end. Design really, truly matters. So what's the most critical first step? Well, it's having a really honest conversation. I mean, before you can build the future, you have to get a handle on the present. So the facilitators asked the people of Three Rivers 2 simple but really profound questions. What needs fixing? And what do we already have that's great? This wasn't just a chance to complain. It was about taking inventory. It was a really clear-eyed look at the challenges, but also a celebration of the town's strengths, both the obvious ones and the hidden ones. And let me tell you, the community did not hold back. The needs were super clear. The number one thing, with 2 exclamation points, was to decrease blight. But they also talked about things that bring people together, better-looking main streets, more stuff for teens to do, and finding ways to connect neighborhoods that felt cut off. These are the real, everyday issues that actually affect people's lives. But then you flip the coin and look at the assets. And this is where all the hope comes from. Three Rivers realized, hey, we're rich in natural resources, we've got these incredible historic neighborhoods, and we have something you just can't build, a quiet environment. But maybe most important of all, the people wanted change, and they saw that their town's diversity was a huge strength. Okay, so you've got this list of problems and this list of strengths. The real magic of the charrette is turning all that raw material into a single, coherent vision. This is the moment where all those scattered ideas started to come together into a real, tangible plan for the future of Three Rivers. So how did this start to take shape? Well, the designers took all that feedback from the community and literally put it on a map. They zeroed in on 3 key areas: the downtown core, the neighborhoods that surround it, and the US 131 corridor, which is a major road that runs right alongside the town. The plan for that US 131 corridor is a perfect example of how they were thinking. See, instead of seeing it as just a highway that chopped the community in two, they imagined it as a seam that could actually stitch the town together. They came up with ideas for these welcoming gateways at the north and south ends, and, this is critical, adding pedestrian and bike trails all along its length. The whole vision was just so ambitious, so complete. It wasn't just one big project. It was like this web of interconnected ideas. The main goal was to create a walkable community, and that was supported by all these specific projects, like building a city marina on the river, turning an old school into a community hub, and making the most of their beautiful riverfronts. And there was this one theme that just kept coming up, over and over, with so much energy it practically jumped off the page. It was the connective tissue for every single idea they had. A huge piece of this vision was a brand new pedestrian bridge.
And this wasn't just about getting across a river. No, it was about connecting kids to their schools, families to community centers, neighbors to each other. It was a physical symbol of their desire for a town that was truly linked up. And again, it all came back to this one central idea. This became the drumbeat for the entire plan. Every road, every park, every new building was seen as another chance to expand this network that connected people. When you get right down to it, this story is about way more than just one town in Michigan. It's this powerful example of what can happen when a community is actually empowered to imagine its own future, using a process that's structured, collaborative, and creative. It all comes back to this simple phrase, that final principle from the AIA. The story of Three Rivers just proves that thoughtful design isn't some luxury. It is the actual tool we can use to make our communities safer, healthier, and more connected. Design is how a vision becomes real. And that kind of leaves us with one final question. The people of Three Rivers, they uncovered hidden gems and this incredible desire for change just by asking the right questions. So I want you to take a look around where you live. What means fixing? What are your hidden assets? What's the untapped potential just waiting to be designed into your community's future?